To get started, you need a web browser open with js.do pulled up as a web page. And this is what's called the development environment. This is where we're going to work on making code in JavaScript and seeing what the output is. So how js.do works is over here on the left side, you're going to type in your code that you want. Here is some sample code that loads automatically with js.do. And you can scroll down in this window and see all the code that is going to appear for that. Over on the right side, you will see what a web page would look like if it used all of this code and text to create a web page. We can start with basically a blank page instead of code if we click on create new code. So make sure you go ahead and do that. This might be a fun bit of text to play around with later and make changes to, but let's start with create a new code. So there are two parts of your code that are going on here. One is what is found inside the script tags. Inside here is where we're going to type in JavaScript code, and we're going to learn coding there. Everything outside of here is going to be what's called HTML, and that's basically text that's going to appear on a web page. Now if I click run code right now, you will see that there's a blank web page. There's no text over here to show up over here. It's not going to show the script tags. It's not going to show this. This is just a comment. But if I type some just plain old text like hello world and click run code, you're going to see that's what the web page would look like. All this other stuff is stuff just to give us structure. The script tags give us structure to say that your script, your JavaScript code will be inside there. There's a couple HTML tags that I also want to talk about. So if you type something like this around the text, what that does is that tells the web browser, make this text inside these tags bold. So let me run the code, and you can see that text is bold now. So if I have some other text outside of those tags and we click run code, you see it is not bold. So tags like this are how web pages tell the web browser, I want this text to be bold and this text to not be. So let's say we want this to be on another line. Well, you can't just come right here and hit enter. Let's run code and see what happens. See, it didn't make it a new line because web pages don't know that just hitting enter means that you want a new line. Let me click run code again. See, it didn't make any make that on a different line. To tell a web browser you want a different line, you have to use the paragraph tag. So that's less than, paragraph, greater than, and then other text. But if we run code now, you see, so it's bumped that down to another line. So these are some of the HTML tags we'll use: bold and paragraph, and more text. See, it puts it right out there. And if we run code, it doesn't move it yet. We have to do a new paragraph tag, and it will put it on another line. So that's the basics of how js.do works and how we make some very basic text appear on a web page, not inside a script. Why don't you practice this using your own text and play around with those tags and see what you can come up with.